You're listening to Edge Radio TV. The views and opinions expressed in this program are that of the host or guests, and not the Edge Radio Network or its advertisers or affiliates.
Happy Monday, moguls. I pray everyone had a blessed, a restful, and enjoyable Easter weekend, or as us Christians say, Resurrection weekend, Resurrection Sunday. How blessed it is to be here during this time, to be in health, right?
Amen.
Wealth. If you're not wealthy in your mind, because health is wealth, then you still are going to speak those things as they are. And so I'm asking you guys to follow us at Edge Radio TV. Also me at mogulonthemove.com. Definitely, if you have any real estate questions, DM me or email me at SeanEaglinRealEstate@gmail.com. And we have another real estate guru. If you want to reach out to her, I'm going to introduce her, a special guest. She has already, we're just now becoming familiar, but already we have kindred spirits. Just seems to be so pleasant, just a beautiful personality, beautiful inside and out. Please help me welcome Mrs. Sparkle Lockett.
Hey, everyone.
Yes.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yes. Sparkle, thank you so much for joining us here at Mogul on the Move. And before we get started, did you want to share any of your handles? How they can reach you?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. See, this is empowering women already. So, women supporting women.
Yes.
You can follow me at Sparkle the Realtor, and also at Makeup by Sparkle. So you can, go on our website, makeupbysparkle.com, or go to unlockwithlockett.com.
So women, both things.
Yes.
You need somewhere to live, whether you're purchasing or leasing, and we all want to look good, right?
Yes.
We don't have to. Now with COVID, it's kind of let's get into this conversation cocktail. This is going to be a fun day. I can already tell. Now with COVID, it's helped us for those days when we have to mask up and all we have to do is put a little eyes on. It's really saved some time and effort, don't you think?
Easy. It was so easy, or not. So, everyone is pretty much working remote.
That's true.
And
which I've enjoyed. Have you enjoyed that?
You know what? Just being in my business in our field, you still have to go out. So I think COVID has prepared me to, with personal development, business development, preparing myself for post-COVID. And since I was, my background is technology, it was kind of like a little bit easier to transition. So it was like cool, waking up.
That's good, because I am, they have those book dummies for etc. Oh God. So that's a blessing that you are already.
Yeah, but the thing is, becoming a real estate agent, it is face to face.
Yeah.
And so it is really hard to, network, and, so you have to, your mindset has to completely change,
totally different,
all the way.
And I'll be honest, most of my clients were from networking and referrals. Thank God, because I was able to sustain and still sustaining through COVID. It's gotten a lot better. Now things I think are getting back to normal.
Yeah.
Pretty much back to normal. But those first 3 to 6 months was like, if you didn't have any referrals or you weren't visibly available for future clients online, it was hard. You had a lot of agents, which real estate has a high turnover anyway, but you had a lot of agents that went back to the 9 to 5 or kind of left real estate. So it really is a blessing when you can be technically savvy or have that referral base in whatever city you're in. So speaking of supporting women, Women supporting women, women empowerment. That's what the show is about. Hopefully, if you're a woman, that's what your lifestyle is about, because we need to start empowering each other and understand that what's meant for you is meant for you, especially in the city of Houston. There's so much business, guys. You should never be afraid to empower another woman. So what woman empowered you, imparted into you, inspired you, motivated you the most as a child?
I want to say, and today is my grandmother's birthday, Birdie Mae Sherrod. She was, thank you, rest in heaven. But she was, and it's a coincidence. Like,
that is,
this one,
everything happens for a reason.
Yes, everything happens for a reason. And
wow.
Typically, you know, every morning I have like morning devotionals, and I wake up and do worship and praise. And so, you know, light candles and just get my whole vibe to start my day. And she was just heavy on my spirit, on my mind. And so I want to say that my grandmother and the women, Sherrod women, actually motivated me, inspired me. She just poured in to just me. And I just want to say, because I always say this, I'm the first grandbaby. I was the first grandbaby.
So you were spoiled.
I was first grandbaby. So I saw my grandparents, you know, all the time. Actually, my grandfather just celebrated his 93rd birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
Shout
April
out
1st.
to grandfather.
Yeah, granddaddy.
Amazing.
And so,
testament.
And so my grandmother, she was battling with lupus, and with lupus runs heavy in our family, dementia, Alzheimer's. And so she just always poured, always prayed, always was just uplifting, empowering.
She seems like she was the rock, the matriarch
of
the family.
She was the matriarch and everyone knew that. So I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out to Naptown.
Shout out. Shout out.
So yeah, she was the rock. Everyone who knew her, they knew that she was like just a great woman. You could feel her spirit, like as walking in the room. She was very hospitable. She poured into all people we serve,
which is rare.
Yeah,
you have those fine jewels here and there within various communities.
Yeah, she served, and what I feel that was instilled in me until this day is serving our people and just being a servant of people.
Because God is gonna, what you pour out is what you're gonna receive, and we're always asking God and wanting, but what are you giving?
Yeah.
You want all these extraordinary blessings. What are you doing extraordinary for somebody else?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it wasn't about, you know, being a blessing to others, but also, you know, you're the blessing to others, and then not receiving anything back.
Exactly.
So I think that, and the women in our family are very, very strong, and we're strong-willed. Those who know me, they know, like, that's where I get my hustle and grind. You know, I came from a family of entrepreneurs, blue-collar workers, white-collar workers as well, you know, high school graduated, not graduated, or college grads. So it was just, you know, that being instilled and poured into me. So shout out to my grandmother.
So what do you think she would say, seeing you now where your life is, you transforming into a woman? I know you stated earlier, before the show, she shared that she's passed away for 10 years now, so a decade, which I know you probably feel like time flies so fast, especially the older we get. It seems like it flies by even faster. What do you think her sentiment would be? What do you think, how do you think she would feel about where you are as a woman?
I think that I don't think I know that she would be very proud of me. She was like my best friend. I would call her like with anything on my way to work. I did when I worked in corporate America, 8 o'clock on my way to work. She had talked to me the whole way through, praying and all of that. But I think she would be so proud of who I became and who I'm becoming, because I'm still becoming. And so we're still, you know, I'm still work in progress.
Yeah, until we die, we'll always be evolving and being a work in progress.
Yeah.
And legacy. Legacy is so important. How do we pay homage to those who have passed on, those who did impart so much into our lives? It's how you live.
Yeah.
It's the legacy that you're setting example for your children, for your family members, being an inspiration, being motivating, those kind words, encouraging words, and how you're treating others. It could be a stranger on the street.
Yeah.
Saying good morning, saying hello.
Hello is free. I tell people this
smile
all the time. Like I've gotten so many, just traveling around the world and being in rooms and in spaces where just speaking to people, first of all, I don't keep up with, I've been around celebrities, I'm still around celebrities, being a makeup artist and, you know, TV and all that. But it's like everyone is human. So speaking to people, you never know when you're walking in a room who you talking to. And not saying that you're trying to get something, but you just never know. And that's how I've, you know, I can say being successful, being referred, being on different platforms, being in magazines, global, you know, people speaking, you know, life into you and you're listening and you just don't know who they are. So just saying hi, good morning, how are you? Asking someone, how was your day? How are you?
Simple.
Just
and
so
the energy
simple.
you put out is what you will receive.
Absolutely.
So when we come back on the next segment, I want to delve a little bit more into your background, and then we'll talk about the woman who has inspired you the most as an adult.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back, moguls.
EDGE is about community, synergy, and empowerment.
The responsibility be on this? Should we have had a national plan, or should
that the government needs to get out of the way and let people figure it out?
What do you do for your face? So I do have a skincare line called Infinity Skincare. And welcome back to How You Living on Edge Radio Live. So to
Jennifer, I'm just saying live and I'm out.
Peace.
Can't say we not working, okay?
You cannot say we not working.
Say that we are.
No, they're just ready to get back out there and start sexing up other people.
yeah.
That we weren't interested in any silver medals. If they wanted to give us the gold medal that we earned.
各位亲爱的观众，我是富卡，今天又到了我们
It's a hotel kind of vibe.
Well, I mean, I'm
We're
sure he's like,
turning
I
down
don't want to
to
hear
say,
you
here's the
complaining
dinner, man.
about the cheap
Sensation cocktail. This is our first mixed cocktail. We have
Three, action.
very good margarita.
Folks, as always, this is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get, right? So to the Edge Radio Network, we are going to be bringing you continuous, interesting conversations, interesting encounters, interesting experiences, education, knowledge, and a lot of laughs and a lot of fun, folks. So you don't want to miss it. So
when people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
All right, moguls, we are back. You guys are tuning in to Mogul on the Move. We have our special guest today, another real estate guru, so definitely reach out to her. We're going to share her handles again at the end of the show. But we were discussing career. And before we talk about that, I want to talk about the woman that has inspired you the most as an adult, that's motivated you, that's kind of been that rock. Or even if it could be like a celebrity or somebody that you just esteem for. And a lot of us love Michelle Obama, Oprah, whomever that may be, or it may be a personal family member. Who would that woman be?
Oh my gosh, it's so many women, especially now since
Kamala,
Kamala, of course. I mean, that she's like shown women and young girls that they can do it, and we can be all we can be, and just keep going and pushing.
No glass ceiling.
Nothing. Of course, Michelle Obama, she's just so like classy you know, just, I mean, she got that little, because she's Chicago, so, you know, we from the Midwest as well. But she got that little classy / little ratchet a little bit or whatever.
Did you go on her book tour? Because she let the little ratchet out.
Yes, she did.
Said, okay,
Michelle. I was here. I remember like with my friend, I'm like on early and trying to get the tickets. And you know how they were only giving out like 4 and 2s and stuff like that.
We had to go out of town because they didn't have Houston on the first tour.
Okay.
So I didn't even get to.
Where'd you go?
We went to Dallas.
Okay, Dallas. Okay. So around the corner. But yeah, she was her tour was so raw and live, and it was so real and so good. And that's what I love. Like, she has the perfect balance of, you know how to,
very well-rounded, very well-rounded individual. She could be, you can tell she could be, and she's already proven that and shown us that as a first lady, can be in any room, any surrounding, and she's just gonna put the magic on. That's just what she is.
Yeah.
Very
so those
inspiring.
women, and let me say this, I want to say all Black women today and age, just because we have gone through so much and we're still going through so much. And especially this show. Yeah. And then just being recognized, like, I mean, it's like we've been in, Black people been in, you know what I'm saying? Like, and everyone who knows me, I support Black businesses. I'm a Black owned business. That's the first thing I do. Actually, my whole real estate team is Black, so we bet on Black. I bet on Black all the time. But the first thing I'm looking for is just in businesses and services is Black owned and minority women owned businesses. So I just want to say shout out to all the women who are just doing it, who are creating, whether you are in corporate America, 9-to-5 or 5-to-9er, or just starting. Keep going. So you motivate me. Your stay-at-home moms that are creating, especially during this pandemic, and with these kids on this virtual. I don't have.
I did it for 6 months.
Yeah, I don't have younger children, so I'm thankful, for that piece of it, because I know that is
it was like
a deal
no
with
experience.
Yeah, because we're not
at-home teacher.
Because you didn't go. Did you go to school to be an educator?
No, I didn't.
Exactly. So
graduated poli-sci, U of A, Cougars.
So yeah, like we didn't do, but we have to step in and be great and do our best.
And that's what we do as women.
Yeah.
Personally and in our professional lives, we're always stepping up to the plate, making it happen. It doesn't matter what type of situation it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of the winter storm, I talked to so many women. What did you do? One lady had a newborn. I just held him to my chest and covered him. We're going to make it happen.
Protector, providers.
Yes.
And it's so many women. I want to say shout out to also the single boss babes, because a lot of my clients, they are like single boss babes. And I know this world puts a stigma on like, oh, you got to be married at this time. You got to be at this age. You got to have a baby. And women are out here, we just doing it. Like, we're just doing it.
And I just had a family member to ask me, so y'all are having the baby in September. So y'all gonna get married before then? I said, I'm gonna get married when I'm ready.
Basically.
When I'm sure, I'm gonna always make the decision that's gonna make my life remain peaceful. Period. We can't live for other people's expectations. I'm not.
Well, first of all,
I'm not gonna do it.
Let me say this: don't live for nobody's expectations. And this is the thing with social media and everything that's on TV commercials. We see this glam, and people are really not living like that. I mean, we have celebrities who are, we think and imagine they have everything, and they're like committing, suicide. People are going through depression.
Grammy-nominated people struggling financially.
Yes, like I know social influencers who are, was at the top of their game, and then it's like now you're here. So I feel like you always should have a plan. You always should have a backup plan. COVID was hibernation period to stack your money
and to brainstorm and to finally start working, because it is hard when you're hustle bustle. Maybe you are a single parent and you're having to work 2 jobs or work 2. Maybe you have your business and working a 9-to-5, to take time to kind of cultivate a dream that you may have. But COVID gave us that opportunity.
It did.
Even if it was just brainstorming, like you're saying, planning, outlining what your goals, outlining what your plan of action is. It definitely gave us that, able to catapult onto that.
And
if you're truly about it.
Yes, and changing your mindset. I mean, I tell people, all the time because they ask me questions, and you know, me being a real estate agent, and you see this, entrepreneurship for one is not for the weak. And I just went on live on my personal live, you know, a week ago, explaining that entrepreneurship is not for the weak. It is not something that I truly believe entrepreneurs are born, because you can't, and I tell people all the time, it's, why are you leaving your job? There's no reason for you to leave your job. And I think that, you know, with social media, they got people thinking, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and people struggling.
You do it when you know that you have a certain amount of cushion.
Yeah.
It used to be
and
3
your
months to 6
mindset.
months.
I want to say
now
your
it's
mindset.
a year. Now they're saying at least a year's worth of cushion of your monthly expenses. Let's use wisdom. Shall we not use wisdom?
Baby.
2021. Now come on. You have bills to pay, especially if you are a parent. Now, if you out there willy-nilly, you don't have any responsibilities, do whatever you choose. But especially if you have someone that you're caring for, I don't understand
that's a
people that leave their 9 to 5 with no parachute. It doesn't make any sense.
I say this. I feel like the world and social media, we're empowering people to be great and be their great selves, but it's a mindset thing. So transition is hard. Like, I can say I've been through several transitions in my lifetime, but also I'm still going through transition, right? And
you're in a new city.
Yeah, I've been here for 4 years
new,
in Houston. Even though I love Houston, I used to come travel, but living here is different. Transitioning from, you know, Indianapolis, leaving like all my family to go to Atlanta to, you know, come to Houston. But I mean, I love Houston, but it's still a transition.
It is.
It's a lot, and so you have to have a mindset of, you know, first of all, be in prayer, pray about everything first, but just, it's hard. It's really hard out here. And I tell, hustle and bustle and grind.
Yes, and you touched on that earlier. We've shared that on the show multiple times. How you start your day off can really set the stage, set the mood, because you're going to have some days where maybe somebody says something disrespectful, or maybe the person almost swerves and runs you off the road, whatever the case may be. But starting your day off, and all the time we hear people posting, God is the head of my life. But he can't be if you can't even give him time in the morning.
Absolutely.
First thing you do is open up your phone and go straight to Instagram or straight to Facebook, instead of taking the time to first show praise and be grateful. And then just not always asking, just thanking, being grateful, thankful, and start your day off with peace. Like you said, maybe some inspirational music, reading scripture daily, what we're putting into our minds. Feeding ourselves. If the first thing you're feeding yourself is social media,
and that's too much. That's too much within itself. That's a lot. That's overwhelming. Social media is overwhelming for me.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I've always been into news, whether it's political, worldly, entertainment, but it's almost bombarding your life.
Yeah.
Now you have to have that time set aside to just woosah. So on the next segment, we're going to go for a break, you guys. On the next segment, I want to delve into your career path. If you want to share with your corporate life, because most real estate agents, we started in the corporate world. We, graduated college, whatever your 9 to 5 was, did what you felt like you should do. For me, I pretty much did what my family said to do. It's a traditional conservative family. And we kind of started into entrepreneurship at a later age. So what was that like, as well as you had a huge move personally and professionally? So we're going to delve into that when we get back. All right, moguls.
Edge Radio TV is holding auditions for new show hosts. Are you a subject matter expert, professional, influencer, book author, thought leader, or business owner with an educational or motivational platform? Then we want to meet you. Send a link of some of your work to edgeradio20@gmail.com and be sure to put audition in the subject line. Join the Edge Radio TV family. Edge TV, because truth still matters.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and you know, sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information. And you know, my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. You know, I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay,
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
All right, Mogul, so we are here. You are watching Mogul on the Move, and we have our special guest, Mrs. Sparkle Lockett, the real estate guru. And so let's talk about career. So you started off in corporate America. And so what was that like, and what gave you that push that you needed? What was that segue to bring you into real estate?
So
and makeup. Your
and
makeup as well.
Yeah. So it was, oh my gosh. People, they still laugh. I don't think people think that I've been working, I was working in corporate America, because I never really exposed that. I worked in corporate. My background is I have a degree in business, and I have an MBA in business as well, business management. So I grew up, my dad was in technology. And so at first I was like, oh, I want to be an accountant. And I was like, oh, my first semester, I was like, this is for the birds. I don't even want to do it. This ain't me. And so when I went into technology and got certifications, but I know business is transactional, it's versatile. So you can do anything with business. And I quickly changed my major, and I was always intrigued with technology. So I would tell people that I am such a tech geek. I'm so geeky, you guys, and goofy. You just don't see that, but those who know me, they know. But I love the tech world. I just love the ever so changing and learning and all of that.
Ever so changing.
So my background, I was in technology product development for 20 plus years as an engineer.
Awesome.
And and I had a love for it, and it was a love-hate. So it was like, I have to, get out here and hustle and use my, income to invest in my business. So
which is so important, investing into yourself.
Yes, investing into
invest into yourself, then you shouldn't.
Because I was like, I don't want to get a loan, and I didn't want to get a small business loan or anything like that. And from the grace of God, I was so blessed and thankful that I was making a great income where I could invest in my business. And so that part of it. So that's what makes me detail oriented in not only, real estate, because everything is contractual, right? You got to read, you got to detail. And me being in that technology environment, it's like you have to read requirements and specifications, and you have to be detailed,
or you will mess up.
Yes, you will. And so it made me, it actually helps me in my career today. as a real estate agent, as being a female boss in makeup, because I'm very detail oriented. And sometimes it's by a fault, like it's kind of like that perfection.
So you probably were just detail oriented as a child, as an adult, where that was just always a part. That's how I've always been a little anal. I've always been a little anal.
Yeah, my mom said I was like, she was like, you really didn't play with the kids. You was always like,
see, I was always inside, either reading the book. I did not play outside much.
Yeah, I was inside. So I loved my friends. I was, very, very smart. Let me say this, y'all. I love school. I had perfect attendance up until high school. And I love school. I love reading. I love being in class. I just love absorbing information. And so that's what makes me great in my business. But
because you're all businesses, regardless of the industry, there's always something new.
It's something new.
Thing. So you have to be willing to be educated at whatever step of your business you're in. You can say, I've been in the business for 20 years. You have people in real estate that have been in the business for 20 years. Now we have a new contract that we had to start using.
Yeah,
not a totally new contract, but there were some revisions April 1st. Now they came out with it in November of last year, but you had to use this
April 1st,
new
2021
contract. So hey, it's always something new.
And I told my son, shout out to PV. My son is at HBCU.
Right,
he will be graduating this summer. Thank God. And I was talking to him.
I know you must be proud.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud and so thankful, because I was even had the conversation. He went to Alabama A&M. He had a scholarship, a full tuition paid scholarship there.
Awesome.
And I gave him some grace because he was not happy. And we have to pour into our children and letting them know, like, I think in our day and age, our parents was like just pushing us to, you gotta go to college, you gotta, get this degree.
Do this, you should major in this.
You gotta work in corporate America, you gotta get you a job. And now everything is pivoted. So we have, millennials that are instant millionaires because
bosses.
They're so smart.
Starting businesses
out of college or in college.
Yeah.
And so my son is he's a marketing minor in computer science. So he's in this digital marketing program in entrepreneurship. But I do not knock his dreams, and I understand because you cannot thrive and be happy with mediocrity, right? And so teaching our children at a young age, or even now, and even growing, at a younger age, you got to let them know, do what makes you feel great. And so just pivoting from corporate America, I lost my job. I lost everything. I hated corporate America. And
so that 9 to 5, ooh,
it was a lot, because you have to wake up and
for somebody else's business,
doing all kinds of stuff. And it was like, I could do this for myself. But what was the great thing about it is corporate America, and I was telling my son, is you are learning systems, processes. You're learning how to structure business and structure your business and structure yourself. And so I think it's important not to miss out on different steps in life. And then you're meeting people every day. I remember, going on interviews and being aware, and people Google me and they're like, so you do makeup, you have a makeup company and all this. And I would get corporate, they would end up being my corporate client.
Your spirit
on makeup. Yes, on makeup. They're like, oh, we're doing a corporate video. We would love to hire your company to be, the makeup, do the makeup. And I would be like, oh, okay, because it's not a conflict of interest.
And you never know where your clients are coming from.
You never know. I mean, and you always have to put yourself out there. And I know people back in the day, people are always scared, like, my side hustle, I can't never say nothing. You don't want to
Now, if you don't speak, you don't get fed.
Everyone has a side hustle.
So many people are doing what you're doing.
Yes.
So you have to do something to set you apart. You have to be cavalier. You cannot be timid and think that you're going to be
successful. And you got to be flexible and adaptable. And that's what I feel like corporate America has taught me, because you're dealing with so many different kinds of people internationally, just in the office. And that's setting the precedence of, who you are, how to speak to people, learning people.
Speaking of Black businesses.
Yes.
Now I'm going to say. I'm going to always support Black business, but if you're not professional, I'm not going to support you. And we've had this discussion when I first got into real estate, leaving corporate America, and I had two agents that I esteemed, these African American women. Oh my God, I'm going to go. asking for their advice and opinion, and this is going to be great. Maybe even get a mentor out of it or not, because people's plates are full, people's bandwidth have been stretched, and I didn't get that. I actually got my mentorship from an older white woman.
Okay, I want to touch on that.
You're not professional.
Me too.
I don't care what color you are. So corporate America, definitely, I think that's what it taught me too. Being structured.
Yeah.
Knowing how to have great customer service. Regardless, remaining professional.
Yep.
And follow through. Those things that we lack sometimes as business owners.
I want to touch on what you said about Black businesses and support. So this is what that really frustrates me, is that I did not have a mentor. My mentor, it was in Indianapolis, and it was this group of women that were executives that worked at Dow AgriSciences, and they were white women. And, being in my field of business, it wasn't a lot of mentors at all whatsoever. I love Pat McGrath. Like, she set the precedence for all of us. She, the first female Black billionaire in the industry. But it was like, why do
her
they?
energy is perfect.
Her energy
like
is amazing. She's a boss. She went from corporate and then creating her own brand, right? And so, why do we not pour into each other? Why are we as Black women? It's like, we so-called haters.
It was very disheartening.
I think that, and I love, and the first thing, if a Black woman is like, hey, can you help me? People who know me, I'm always educating. I'm always so helpful. Yes, my bandwidth is so full or whatever, but why do we
advice and opinion?
Why don't we pour into each other?
Especially if you're on social media saying, reach out to me if you need, or in person, reach out if you need anything. Like, we have to be women of our word, men of our word, and maybe that's just not for you, but I feel like too much that's given, too much you have to give out. You have to give out knowledge. It doesn't have to be any resources or finances, but at least knowledge. It's like we said, it's free. I don't understand. Advice and opinion is free. Taking out 5 minutes out of your 24 hours of that day.
Yeah. Or time block and just say, hey, let me get back with you, the way. And I just think that it is so important. This is why our Madam VP, Kamala Harris, is in office. Shout out to Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which I am a member of.
All right.
But I mean, it's like pushing that forward and helping. And I mean, it's over 300,000 of us, in my sorority. And so it's like pushing, supporting, promoting. Why can't we do that for each other, just in small business?
So we're gonna touch on that when we come back on the next segment. My sister-in-law shared. You guys know she's an engineer project manager at Chevron, and having that woman mentor. We're gonna discuss that because it's lacking in the African American community.
There is lacking.
We'll touch on what we think causes that when we come back. Right, we'll be right back.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
Aren't you tired of not getting what you want in bed?
Are you ready to spice things up behind those closed doors?
Woo! We're here for you every hump day at 7 p.m.
This is Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen. I'm Jennifer Reeves.
And I'm Hendrik Scott, and we are professional licensed sex therapists.
So remember to watch us Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Edge Radio TV, just in time for sexy time.
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
I'm trying not to lose my head.
Hey, this is the Talk About Unity show where I bring the talk.
And I bring the unity.
And together we talk about unity. Unity is what matters.
Come on.
And right now in our country, that's what we've got to do. So we do that here at Talk About Unity on the Edge Radio Network. Be with us every week.
It's going to be awesome. It always is. And I tell you what, the more we seek first to understand, then be understood, we make progress.
And we like to do that. And that's why everybody's on the brink. We love what we do at Edge Radio because everybody's on the edge. We bring them back from the edge and we bring the unity. So we're just glad. Edge Radio Network every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Talk about unity because here at Edge Radio Network, truth still matters.
All right, moguls, we are back. This conversation cocktail has been so interesting. This is a great mixture of everything. But most importantly, we know that the most important thing is empowering and supporting women. And so your career has led you to, well, not really your career, your marriage led you to Houston. How did that affect your two businesses, real estate and makeup? I'm assuming in a positive way because Houston is such a robust city.
It is.
So what was that transition like?
Oh, I feel like I'm still in transition, y'all, just to be honest.
Yeah, it still is fairly new.
Because I've been here, it'll be August, will be 4 years.
Mm-hmm. So it's still new.
Yeah, it's still new. So yes, my husband, Ron Lockett, brought me here to Houston, and which I'm so thankful and grateful for because, I mean, he was, you know, a mover. He is a mover and shaker in Houston.
Shout out to his bros.
Right.
The
Noobs. And matter of fact, Mike Gardner, one of his frat brothers,
which is my love.
It's the reason why I'm here. So look, like full circle, y'all.
Yeah.
So
so what is that like? Because you have a husband who is a public figure, and so now you transition to being a wife. And a wife of someone who has a grueling schedule. So you have to be supportive. You have to go to events. You know, sometimes we have to help behind the scenes somewhat. So what has that transition been like? Because you're still building your two empires. And you guys are building an empire together.
Yeah. And so, that was a lot coming here, because I just remember the first day I moved, it was like an event. And so it was going on and on. But being supportive, we both support each other. And so it's just like, you know, being in the room or it's networking, right? And although before I met Ron, my sorors of Mu Kappa Omega, I was always coming here to kick it with them.
Oh, so that's good. So you already have a base.
I already had a base. Yes,
awesome.
I already had a base. So it was originally them. And then, you know, meeting him, it just solidified everything, right? So we just always have to balance, like we live and die by our calendar. So we respect each other's time and what's going on, and attending events and, you know, attending everything. I mean, right? Because we're both busy, and I always, even with business, it's like, oh, can you do my makeup? And we're going to the same thing. So we're all in this, you know, circle of Black professionals and people and Greek and all of that. So it's always like, especially me, I have to super balance, because it's like, okay.
And it's an additive when you know, they had a quote that says, some of us are out here enjoying marriage. Don't let the media fool you. I saw
that meme.
Yeah, it's a plus when you join forces with someone else who's like-minded, has the same positive spirit. It just adds to your businesses on both sides. Depending on what the industry is. But just adding to your sphere of influence. And just that networking. It should be an additive.
It is a team. So there's no I in team. We were just having this conversation yesterday. There's no I in team.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, as far as people call him and they're like, hey, you know, your wife is an agent and, you know, we want her contact information. So he gives it out. And then, you know, he's running for Alvin school board and one of the trustees. So he is also like, people reaching out to me and they're like, oh, congratulations to Ron, and let him know and all this or whatever. And we're supporting him.
Which is grueling. So you guys know I graduated poli-sci, campaign manager. Running for office, which he already is used to that though, because the title that you have got to be like my candidate every other day. You're at some event. Now with COVID, that kind of slowed it down. But being they went online, they started doing online. But it is a very grueling, industry to be in, politics.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is.
So this is our transition, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot. But I feel like it was just, I'm just saying, just being an entrepreneur in general, you're built for things because you have to adapt. You have to be versatile. You are already in the public eye. You're already, it's kind of like integrating the things that you do, serving the community, serving people, all of that. So that's a part of entrepreneurship, right? So it's like that transition. And then us having not only, I have a son that is at PV that's about to graduate. I have two stepdaughters that one is actually at Xavier Farm. She's a farm, and major. And then another one is going off to college this fall. So it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And then, so, you know, just instilling.
You have to be selfless. You cannot be selfish when you're trying to build something with another individual. You have to be selfless.
Yeah. And I think that I was so thankful and grateful with COVID because it slowed everything down. Because it's exhausting going to, you know, events and doing 2 or 3 different things in the same day and trying to rush and you got to switch up and transition and be versatile. I have extra clothes. I had wardrobes in the car. I had makeup in the car or whatever. So it's like you got to stay ready. Yeah, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
Yes, it's a
and so that's my and I'm still in transition, but I love being in Houston.
And I want to touch on that before the end of the segment. Talking to other entrepreneurs, business owners, women, and we were just saying, let's take a breath and breathe in how blessed we are to be in Houston at this specific time. Whoever would have thought 20 years ago, I could have never dreamt that. We're actually going to be, Forbes put out the list that we should be a super city, meaning financially we are one of the top in the world. We should be a super city, I think in 2 years.
That's amazing.
What you're thinking? Here, 20 years ago, you're like
2 years
what?
is like tomorrow.
Like, how we're gonna be like Hong Kong.
Wow.
Which is attainable because of oil and gas, but you still just didn't think about it if you grew up in Houston. You just didn't think that way. And so we are in such an amazing time to be business owners in Houston.
Yeah.
So do you feel that same energy?
I do. Absolutely. The energy is different. Growing up in the Midwest, everything was so black and white. And transitioning from, Indianapolis to Atlanta, and it's like all this blackness, all this greatness you see with people, and you're like, oh my gosh, it makes you and want to push you to be great. Because we see people like us doing what either we aspire to do, what we want to do, or what we are doing.
It's a different atmosphere,
it's
environment.
and it's a different energy.
Yeah.
And then transitioning to Houston, it was like that same energy. And I mean, there's CEOs that are black. We have people who are just great, and that's us. That looks like us.
So Black Enterprise voted us for the first year. This was 2019, going into 2020. The #1 city for African American entrepreneurs, professionals, and business owners. So it's an amazing time to be here. So what do you feel like your goals are now? We're going to just say a year from now. What are you striving to complete? And what would you like to see come to fruition for 2021 by the end of the year?
Okay. So, that's a good question. Because I have pivoted a lot, mainly in my beauty business, which is Makeup by Sparkle. Go makeupbysparkle.com. But it has pivoted because it's just like this pivoting through COVID, right? Being an online business, because I used to own brick and mortars in Indianapolis, and I was so thankful that during this time I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart went out to small business owners who had to let go of employees, who lost their businesses, and to sustain in business today.
Like a lot of heartbreaking stories and examples.
And it's a lot. And so I'm so thankful that being a techie and first of all, I got laid off like a few years ago, and that's what pushed me into. And I was like, I ain't going back to corporate America. I can go back anytime I want. But I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to bet on myself.
So that was the segue
that was the segue into real estate, because I always wanted to be in real estate. I did my first investment property transitioning from Indianapolis to Atlanta. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great, right? Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to bet on me. And I prayed about it, and
nothing better.
I talked to my husband, and it was support. And so he was like, just do it. And God told me to do that. And so I'm like, I should have been doing this a long time ago, right?
But timing is
everything.
And everything happens for a reason.
To goals and all of that. So that was one of my goals checked off. Yep. And then here I am now. And then, being a full e-commerce online beauty company, launching a virtual try-on app.
A great testament.
Yes, launching a virtual try-on app during COVID. And it's like, how amazing is that? So my goals for this year, 2021, WON, that's I got that from my friend. It is I'm actually engaging more, putting myself out there, because I'm a very private person. So everything ain't for social media, or if I'm somewhere.
It's funny because people are always surprised that I'm private, because I'm so like, oh
but I'm private. I'm private until I don't have to be private.
That's
right?
what I'm. Yeah, same
and
thing.
So it's like, just focusing on. I'm rebranding Makeup by Sparkle. I'm changing that. I've rebranded so many times, and you just keep changing, ever evolving. In my real estate career, I get a lot of relocations. I get a lot of. I'm just gonna learn and progress. I have goals this year, financial goals, business goals for both businesses, but it's hard to kind of like, I had to realize this year to integrate both of my business. So to create a lifestyle brand, right? Real estate is lifestyle. Makeup, beauty is lifestyle.
So I want you, before we stop, I want you to share your handles again for your makeup and your real estate, so the moguls can reach you.
So real estate, it's at Sparkle the Realtor. and go to unlockwithlockit.com. That is my real estate website. And then at Makeup by Sparkle is my beauty brand and Black owned, of course.
Go out and support, guys.
Support and go to makeupbysparkle.com.
So I want to thank you, Sparkle, for coming on. Your energy is unmatched. You truly are an example of beautiful inside and out. And so my prayer is that your 2021, God, brings everything that your desire is to come to fruition. And that he just exceeds your expectation. And so thank you again for coming on.
Thank
you guys, please go and support Makeup by Sparkle. Reach out to her if you have any real estate needs as well. Don't forget to follow me at Mogul on the Move. Follow Edge Radio TV. We're on Facebook, as well as edgeradiotv.com. Until next time, please be kind and be safe.